message to the young men?
You know, I guess my message to young people generally is we're trying to make your life better. And that is the simple thrust of President Trump's policy is we want you to be able to buy a home. We want you to be able to work a good job. We want you to be able to raise your kids, like I said, according to the values that you believe in. And we want you to be able to build a nice life in this country that all of us love. That is what we're trying to do. And, you know, you guys more than anybody, more than me, I'm talking about people under the age of 30 in particular, you guys are going to have to deal with the consequences of good policy or of bad policy for much longer than the rest of us.
What's going on, guys? Today we are looking at a beautiful message from Vice President JD Vance to young men. Let's go.
And I want you guys to think about the future and ask yourself, do you want safe communities? Do you want a prosperous life? Do you want to be able to work a good job? Or do you want that job shipped off to China or somewhere else? We're fighting for you every single day. We want you to help fight for us because we've got to win. Not just the policy battles of the next couple of months. We've got to win the midterm elections in a couple of years. We need you. We recognize that we need you, and we're fighting for you every single day. And I think, you know, you asked me, you know, my message to young men is I think that our culture sends a message to young men that you should suppress every masculine urge. You should try to cast aside your family. You should try to suppress what makes you a young man in the first place. And I think that my message to young men is don't allow this broken culture to send you a message that you're a bad person because you're a man, because you like to tell a joke, because you like to have a beer with your friends, or because you're competitive. It's
great message, honestly. We can all applaud what he's just said right there.
Our message, the cultural message, and I think the president's and mine is the exact opposite, but our cultural message is, I think that it wants to turn everybody, into, whether male or female, into androgynous idiots who think the same, talk the same, and act the same. We actually think God made male and female for a purpose, and we want you guys to thrive as young men and as young women, and we're going to help with our public policy to make it possible to do that.
Amazing, amazing. Just like he said, God made men and women for a purpose. Men and women are not equal, they are different, and they are complementary.
And by the way, I actually think, Mercedes, this is the thing that President Trump, this is why the media went after him so hard, is because, you know, when I think about, like, what is the essence of masculinity, you could answer this in so many different ways, but when I think about me and my guy friends, we really like to tell jokes to one another. Like, we like to laugh. You think of all the movies that were really popular.
Are you saying you're pretty funny?
I try to be.
Okay, President Trump, who's funnier? Who's funnier?
President Trump.
All right, there you go.
Let's be honest.
There you go.
He's got the best sense of humor of any American political figure. But I think this is why young men in particular are so, you know, they're so inspired by President Trump, is because he doesn't allow the media to tell him he can't make a joke or he can't have an original thought. President Trump just says what's on his mind. That's a damn good thing, and it's a good example to set for young men in American culture.
You know, I always tell my 5 daughters, so I don't have any sons, but Matt and I, we have 5 beautiful daughters, and I always say, you know, the most important decision you'll ever make is who you marry.
That's right.
That's probably one of the most important decisions in your life, is choosing your life partner. If you are a man or a woman. Honestly.
Always who you marry. And you made a very important decision in marrying Usha.
I did. I married up.
She is a beautiful second lady, and I want to know, what is the best advice Usha has given you?
Well,
This is so fun. Okay.
This is going to be very personal. One piece of advice she gave me like a week ago was, you should be nicer on social media. I don't know that I'll take that advice. So, some advice is good. Some advice is, you know, can be good, but you don't have to always take it.
You sound like my husband.
The best advice Usha ever gave me, when it comes, I mean, she gave me so many good life advices, or piece of advice, but the best advice she gave me when it came to politics is don't let them filter you. And in politics, you know, you've got consultants and you've got media professionals, you've got pollsters, you've got a lot of people who try to tell you what to say or how to behave or, you know, what to do. And Usha just said, just be yourself, be authentic, go out there and say what's actually on your mind, maybe a little nicer from time to time. But I think that's the best advice that she gave me, and that's why we take our kids everywhere, and that's why I'm not afraid to make a joke on social media, even if it's sometimes a dad joke. I forgive me, all of you who don't like dad jokes, but you just got
We all love that joke, honestly, and I love the jokes from JD
to
Vance.
be yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that's President Trump's superpower in American politics, and that's probably the best advice Usha ever gave me, at least on politics.
Okay, last question.
Yeah, honestly, I think he's right about this. I think you should always try to speak your mind in a nice way and do not let anybody else filter you and tell you what you should say and not to say.
What inspires you every day?
Well, I mean, one is my family, right? I mean, I'm blessed to have a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old, and I can't help but see the country through their eyes. And when we were on the campaign in particular, and we would take our kids with us, all of my kids, when we were about to land in some new place, you know, they'd all rush to the window of the plane and they'd look out and they'd say, "Oh, Dad, this looks so cool." Like, you know, the beauty of the Arizona cactuses and Arizona deserts. Or, you know, we'd be in Texas for a fundraiser and they'd be like, "Oh my God, like, look at just all of that open space." Right? Or we'd be in North Carolina and say, "Oh, look how beautiful the Green Mountains," right? This idea of these beautiful green mountains of Appalachia, North Carolina. We love North Carolina. And I guess what inspires me is you can't help but be hopeful and energetic and optimistic about this country when you see it through the eyes of a child. So I hope I never lose that perspective because it does inspire me every day.
Great.
Well, Mr.
Honestly,
Vice President.
That was an amazing speech. That was some amazing tips from Vice President JD Vance right there. Talking about young men, talking about seeing the positive in the future, talking about his family and how he cherishes the advice that his wife gave him. I think we can all learn from JD Vance because he is very smart, he is very strong, he is very well-spoken and outspoken, and he is afraid of nothing. He is not afraid to speak his mind, honestly, even in enemy territory. And of course, he has a beautiful wife, he has a beautiful family and beautiful children, and he is very famous and successful. I think if we can learn from someone, is to learn from JD Vance. I think he gave great tips right there, that you should not be afraid to be a man. You should not be afraid to be strong, to have ambition, to be competitive, and to speak your mind in any occasion, honestly. That's some great tip right there for anybody, if you ask me. And of course, family is important. The most important decision that you're gonna make in your life is probably choosing the right life partner for you and starting a family with them and cherishing your family and protecting your family and providing for your family. Having kids, honestly, is probably one of the best decisions you can make. I hope you enjoyed this video with me today. Let me know what you think about what he said in this video. I appreciate you being here as always, and click right there to watch the next video. And I will see you there. Bye-bye.